Hello and welcome. My name is TyrionLanstr. Well, folks, it's here. We finally have the awakening for Margaery Tyrell. Now, a couple things to go over first. So, Margaery, as many people will know, she's one of those commanders that is a little bit more expensive than the traditional 50 Black Diamond commanders. She's basically in the same tier as Annie. So a lot of what I'm going to do is kind of comparing her to Annie's Awakening to see, do I think this one is as good? Do I think it's worth it? All that jazz. So let's start by just clicking here. They give us a good overview of the types of different groups that she would go with well. So first she gives total army stats. She also is a female commander, so she's going to go well with female setups. She has the disarmament, which goes well with Daenerys and all the other disarmers, basically. And then she's a research commander. She's going to give you some research buff, which, not nothing. So going back to this, so this is the two lineups that they recommend. As you can see, they are heavy emphasis on female commanders, as would be pretty much expected. I don't think there's anything too groundbreaking here. Okay, so let's just take a look at her awakening. So first of all, we can look at the whole thing here and just see that you're getting total stats, getting some research speed. And I gotta say, I was a little bit underwhelmed with this. So in total, you're going to be getting 14.4% total attack, and then you're getting a little more than that at about 15.6% total health and total defense. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, that's good. That's not bad. You still get the bonus as well when you do her third star awakening. You get the 1.6 times her stats, which in her case does mean that you're gonna get if this will scroll down, more total health and total attack, which is good. But again, for me, I'm comparing this to Annie, and let's take a look at Annie real quick. Annie, who also, by the way, gives total attack, total defense, and then her last thing was spearman health, so it's another combat stat. But her awakening, she's giving way more. I mean, you're getting 21% total attack, 22% total defense. I really, for the life of me, don't really know why they make each of her phases 1.5%, and then for whatever reason, Margaery is much less. She's only getting 1.2%. Oh, wait, let me find her. There she is. Sorry about that. Margaery's only giving 1.2% total stats for each of hers. So I don't really know why they went ahead and did that. But, that's what happened. So the last thing I want to talk about with Margaery is her fourth star awakening. So this is the Thorn of the Rose awakening skill. Now, I gotta say, I think the Disarmed in general is pretty strong, but I think hers is up there as being one of the strongest. So it's basically a straight counter to all male lineups. So based on how many male commanders the enemy uses, it's going to make this much more effective. So essentially, after she uses her army skill, there's a 50% chance to inflict the disarm status on one lineup. So it is important to realize that it's just one lineup, it's not all of them, but it's a lineup that has a random enemy male commander. I'm not sure. I think it's only one at a time. There's a chance that it's one for each male commander, but that would be odd to me. I don't think that's what they mean. But the duration is equivalent to the number of enemy male commanders in the battle times 2. So if you think about it, if your opponent has 5 male commanders, which they probably would in most of the weakness attack setups, maybe 4 or 5, but probably mostly male commanders in those types of setups. That's going to be either 8 or 10 seconds. And if you're aware of the cooldown for her ability, you get 5 seconds off it at the end. And considering it the army skill, I can get to it. The cooldown is 15 seconds. If you're getting a 10 second, you're getting it every basically every 10 seconds you get a new chance at one, and it'll last the full 10 seconds. So that's huge. Disarming means that they cannot use any normal attacks, so it's really a true counter on the normal attack setup that's based all around Sandor. So just to kind of break this down in general, because I think now that we have Margaery awakened, we have pretty much every single commander, with the exception of Patello, that is paid to be completely unlocked and awakened, which is pretty cool, pretty exciting. Definitely excited to see what they do with Patello, but I don't think anything crazy is going to happen. I think that we're pretty much done at this point. So in looking at the tier 5 commanders and kind of what this means for them, like I was saying, Daenerys, her awakening kind of has the disarm status incorporated into it. But if I don't think that there's necessarily a direct synergy there, just the nature of the disarm stats. I think this is really meant to be kind of a additional female commander that I think goes well with Cersei's lineup and Layla lineups, and is going to be a counter to the Sandor, Jon Snow's, and Peter Baelish's, since those are the male commanders. So I think it's really interesting if you think about it. The Cersei Lannister was the first kind of really big spike with the female commander setups. I think Peter Baelish was designed to counter her because the weakness attacks can't miss. So Baelish kind of countered Cersei, and then Sandor was kind of doing his own thing, kind of a brand new thing with the idea of the normal attacks. I think that the fact that it's unable to cast active army skills definitely kind of just counters everything else to a certain extent. But I think that what's interesting is that the introduction of Margaery kind of counters Sandor, who seemed before to be kind of tough to counter. But I think between Daenerys and Margaery, you have two options of how to counter that Sandor grouping. So definitely interesting. Really excited to have her. Like I said, I don't think you're getting a lot from the actual stats, but that 4-star awakening skill is really, really good. And I think that's where her majority of her value is going to come from as a commander to awaken. You get 6% research speed, but I don't think anyone's really awakening her for that. I think you want it for this 4-star awakening skill. That being said, keep in mind, again, Margaery is more expensive and harder to get. She's not available in the recruitment pass. Really unfortunate that she's not, but like Annie is, so I guess that makes Annie a little bit, more reasonable to get. But unfortunately, you got to pay 200 black diamonds for the Margaery packs for now, so she's pretty hard to get all the way to gold. But if you do have her, definitely a good one to get to 4 stars. I hope you guys enjoyed this, though. Hope you learned a thing or two. And until next time, my name is TyrionLanstr. I'll see you then.